Hello, you, and welcome to Hair, Prayer, and Self-Care with the one and possibly many, Kim Lowe. So, today I want to talk about asking for help, which is a huge part of self-care. We all know that asking for help is one of the last things we want to do, yet we all realize we need this. So my question is, why is that? I believe, personally, that we don't want to either burden people with our problems and we don't want to appear weak. At least that's how I feel, but yet I know I'm not alone. Asking for help sometimes seems like my absolute last resort, and yet I wonder why I feel burnt out and irritated. However, since having kids, I've come to learn to lean on others and ask for help when I need it. Has it been easy? Definitely not. But has it been worth it? Absolutely. Not only for my mental and my physical health, but for my relationships as well. I recently attended a mom's group meeting, and we were to take a test on the 5 love languages to figure out what our love languages were. And surprisingly, I guess maybe not too surprisingly, well over 90% of us said our love language was acts of service. And acts of service, if you're not aware, is when we feel loved when people do things for us. I can't speak for them, but when I figured that out, I just thought to myself, how is it that all of us love that love language? And speaking for myself, like, that's my love language. I feel loved when people do things for me, and yet I don't even tell anybody about that. That seemed really interesting to me. I feel overwhelmed and I feel burdened, but yet I don't tell anyone. And yet that's how I feel loved. As a mom, I feel like I'm supposed to take care of everyone else and I no longer matter. But if I do matter, then at least I should always come last. And that, I have realized, is extremely a twisted mentality built upon the fact that I am putting myself last, built on the fact that I am not asking people for help when I really need it, even when I just want it. I have to continually tell myself that I am worth it and I am worth loving on, even if I don't think so. You know, it's like, it's just a constant battle. I have to constantly tell myself that no, people cannot read my mind. People can't even see that I'm struggling. Heck, people don't even know that I'm struggling if I don't even tell them. And that is why it's important to ask for help. How is someone going to help me if I stay silent? You know? I have realized over these last few years that most people will not ask you if you want help or if you need help. Even I don't ask. I admit I am so focused on myself and so focused on my kids that I don't even notice anyone else for the most part. I don't even notice when someone else needs help. So it's just human nature. Sometimes we don't even notice if someone needs help, you know, and that's why we have to ask. And that's why we have to ask others to help us as well. This is not to say that people don't like to help. Not at all, because I love to help people. But sometimes I don't see the need. Sometimes I don't see when people need help, and that therefore I don't help them, you know? And it's not that I don't want to, it's just I don't see it, or they just never ask. So it's our job to speak up and to ask for help, even when it's incredibly difficult, which for me it definitely is. You know, I live with, we moved to Maryland, and my husband's family lives here. And they're extremely helpful. I love it. But, you know, they're my in-laws, so it feels a little weird, like, saying, like, can you help me here? Can you help me there? Like, of course, it's so difficult to ask, you know, people who are not, like, your immediate family for help. But I have come to push past those barriers because I realize that I do need help and I can't do this alone. So, you know, it's like every time I ask, you know, it was, like, really awkward or difficult, or I'm like, I don't want to ask. I don't want to, you know, bother them or burden them. But thankfully, my family, they have been extremely helpful, and they have been, you know, telling me all the time, like, we love to help. We want to help. Just let us know when you need it. You know, so it's like I have to just put myself out there, ask for the help, know that, you know, I am worth loving on, I am worth helping out, and that I'm not being a bother to anyone. People like to help and will do it even if they don't want to. And that's because they love you or they care about you, or you know, things like that. Might not be the first people to ask you if you need help, but they will be the first people to help you if you ask. And that's something that I have come to realize. Once you ask for help, they'll help you, but they might not ask you if you need help because, you know, everyone's got their own lives. If they don't know you need help, you know, they're not going to ask, or maybe some people do ask. Don't get me wrong. Some people can see the need. Some people can see that you're struggling and ask you if you need help. But not everyone's like that. And that's why we can't just assume. That's why we just need to step forward and ask anyway. That's why we need to find people that genuinely care about us, and people that we genuinely care about as well. That way we can help each other. That way we can lean on one another in times of difficulty and trouble, because we need help no matter how strong we feel like we are or how strong we feel like we need to be, for ourselves, for our kids, for our families. We need help, and that's just the bottom line. We just cannot do everything on our own. And if we do, we're extremely burnt out. We're completely frustrated. We're so tired. Our mentality is just like fading away. Even our physical health, we end up becoming more stressed. There's so many things when we carry burdens alone and when we're not supposed to. For mothers, we see that our kids have no problem asking for help. My kids, they ask for help at least 10 times a day. And do I help them? Of course I help them, because they asked and I care about them and I want them, to not be frustrated or overwhelmed. And do I want to help them all the time? No. Sometimes I just want to sit down. Sometimes I just want to take a break. But I see that my kid needs me and that they need help and that they can't do it on their own. So of course I'm going to come to their aid. Of course I'm going to come and help them. Of course I'm going to help them resolve some issues. That's what, a mother does. And that's what, just a person in general would do. We need to let people love on us. When we need it, and even when we want it. What's wrong with wanting help? What's wrong with needing help? We're human. We all need it. But the thing is, we shouldn't just expect and demand people to help us. We need to help others as well. Just like you're expecting them to help you, you need to help them. If you don't see the need, ask. Just ask, hey, do you need help? Hey, is there something you're struggling with? Hey, do you need me to help you out this day, or blah, blah, blah. Just as we expect people to help us, we really should be offering and helping others as well. This world together, so we should ask for help. So that's just really all I have today. I really wanted to just stress the importance of asking for help, but then also helping others. That's really important for self-care. And with that, we can flourish a lot more with, less burdens and all that. So I hope you enjoyed this video, and I really hope you just ask for help sometimes, because we're just human. We can't do it on our own. We need that help. So all right, thank you for watching, and I hope you have a good day and ask somebody for help.